Grand Blanc, Michigan. On the morning of September 28th, 2025, a mass shooting and arson attack occurred at a meeting house of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan. The perpetrator, 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, rammed his pickup truck through the front doors of the church, then exited the vehicle and opened fire on the congregation inside with an assault rifle. At some point, Sanford set the building on fire, likely using gasoline as an accelerant, which destroyed most of it. In total, 4 church members were killed and 8 injured. 2 of the dead had been shot. Another 2 died in the fire. Sanford was killed by the police at the scene within 8 minutes of the attack. The Michigan Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation said the attack was being investigated as an act of targeted violence. FBI Director Kash Patel said that Sanford reportedly hated people of the Mormon faith. And a Burton City Council candidate told reporters that Sanford called LDS Church members the Antichrist when the two had a meeting the week before the attack. Friends in Sanfords frequently experience animosity towards church members began after a relationship with an LDS woman more than a decade prior, and it had ended badly. Grand Blanc Township is a suburb of Flint, Genesee County. The building was the headquarters of 7 individual LDS church congregations called wards that combined to form a unit called a stake. In addition to being used for special events involving multiple wards, the building served as a meeting house for the Grand Blanc ward with about 150 weekly attendees. The attack began shortly before the first 911 call was received at 10:25 a.m. According to Grand Blanc Township Police Chief William Renee, the first officer arrived on the scene just 25 seconds later. Witnesses reported that the attacker rammed his GMC Sierra pickup truck through the front doors of the church. He then exited the vehicle armed with an assault rifle and opened fire on church service attended by hundreds of people, including children. Witnesses reported that the attacker was wearing camouflage pants. A church member later recounted hearing a big bang that forced the doors open. Another member, while helping elderly people into a vehicle escape, saw the shooter deliberately target the vehicle. A Grand Blanc Township police officer and a Michigan Department of Natural Resources Conservation officer arrived within 30 seconds of the 911 call and confronted the shooter. They exchanged gunfire and unalived him in the parking lot behind the church at 10:33 a.m. Within 8 minutes of the first call, a large fire believed to have been set by the shooter broke out and caused their church to partially collapse. The fire was contained by the afternoon. A total of four church members were unalived. 2 were gone by gunfire. 1 was pronounced unalived at the scene, and the other unalived at a nearby Henry Ford Genesee's hospital. 2 victims died in the fire. Both bodies were recovered after the fire had been extinguished. The ages of the victims who have been unalived or wounded range from 6 to 78 years. So they say the motive for the attack, this dude was dating a woman that was part of the LDS and felt pressure to join the church but resisted, and the relationship ended badly. Of course, they're saying, he had struggled with mental health issues. He was a veteran. But maybe he knows something that we don't about this church or about the Mormons or the LDS. Somebody told me that this was a place where they have Freemason meetings. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. The acting special agent in charge of the FBI's Michigan office said the attack was being investigated is an act of targeted violence. The day after the attack, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told Fox News, from what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is that this individual hated the people of the Mormon faith. Sanford is believed to have set the fire that engulfed the church. The FBI, blah blah blah, said it found four improvised explosive devices made of consumer grade fireworks and smoke canisters stuck together inside the truck. Investigators searched Sanford's residence and sought warrants for digital media to determine a motive. So that was another thing I did see, that they said that the truck he rammed in there had bombs strapped to it, but this is saying that there was just the explosives in the truck. In a phone interview with reporters, Sanford's father, Thomas Sanford Sr., apologized to the victims' families, saying, "I feel terrible about all the families that have been hurt, and they're under the same crap that I'm going under, that my wife and I are going under. I apologize for that." When asked for insight into his son's motives, Thomas Sr. said, "The only thing I could say is that it was my son that did it. As far as why, irrelevant. It happened. We're dealing with it. It's been a nightmare." Very true. There's no excuses for people to act this way. It's sad. People are out here angry, lost, don't know what to do. They're blaming people. There's a lot of people out here. They're blaming people and certain groups of people and certain religions for certain things going on in the world. But it all starts with inside of you. You want your outer world to be good, great, blessings. You need your inner world to be good, great, blessings. And the only people that can make that happen is you. God bless all of us. I'll be praying for the victims and the victims' families of this. And I'll be praying for, the alleged assailant and his families in this. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one. Much love, peace, blessings, and much gratitude.